Hi friends, I hope you are doing well. I am coming from you from a very sunny Columbia where we're having some pretty incredible weather. And my goodness, time has flown by, but there is some really exciting things that I just want to share with you about just how amazing things have been going on in campus. Honestly, this is probably my most favorite launch year so far. I think the environment, what has happened, it's just been really encouraging because the reality is I was looking at this semester with just such incredible caution and a bit of anxiety as well. Like, we just didn't know what to anticipate coming into this launch year with the students and coming out of this pandemic. And the response was super encouraging, but very different. This generation is incredibly different, but also I'm just so excited about what God is doing in our midst. So we started the year with meeting up with our student leaders, which was a really encouraging time. I think, again, looking back on this past year of the pandemic and walking in our community, the way that we led with care has really paid dividends in terms of the trust, the commitment, and the vision that our entire community has moving forward. And so when we started, we did our traditional tabling, and we got, roughly about 1,000 people to respond. But the most interesting thing about their response was traditionally when, we do a questionnaire about interest in some of that things that our club provides, we usually get maybe like a 23% interest rate of people that want to get involved. But this year was unlike any other year, where we ended up getting like 53% interest. 53%, which was the initial shock, was that's an amazing, incredible number. What an amazing number for us to follow up with. But again, with the shift of this culture as well, has been the reality that it's been incredibly difficult to follow up with those people. So although there has been much more interest spiritually, the ability to follow up with this generation has been increasingly challenging. And so this is one of the things where we're just trying to play the long game and be faithful with these people, and just kind of being able to check in with them, because I think frankly they're probably overwhelmed with the city and the opportunities, but we also know that how challenging community can be. So we will continue to be faithful with the people that are genuinely interested but just have too many things on their plate that they're engaging with. We also did some really cool events as well, where we went across the Brooklyn Bridge and took them to Giuliana's Pizzeria, and I think about 30 people came to that, and it was just like a great, sweet time to get that relational opportunity as a community with these new students. We also did our classic barbecue as well, which also was very, very fruitful. But this launch also had its own challenges. NYU, for a couple reasons. One is, of course, because of COVID, but also because they just let in a lot more students than they anticipated. They basically told the clubs that they had no space. So we had no space from NYU that we could actually host for our large groups or whatever we wanted to do. And this has been a cool thing to see, where the church came in and really provided us. So specifically, Neighborhood Church on Bleecker Street was so hospitable, so kind, and just basically gave us the keys to their church to say, use the space as you need it on Wednesdays. We understand. And they've been doing that for so many of the Christian clubs on campus. And so it's just been so beautiful to see the church at work, spurring each other on, loving each other as we seek the same mission of seeking Jesus and seeking the kingdom of God. And so with all of that, what had happened through all of it was just like, one of the coolest things was frankly like the amount of men that just kind of, I would say, miraculously have fallen into committing to our community. These guys are hungry. These guys are basically ready to open up. They're hungry for community. They're hungry for discipleship. And also with the way that we formatted things, we're just seeing more ownership from the students of desiring to see discipleship, small groups, our community come alive. And so that has just been, wow, it's just been a great thing to witness and experience firsthand. One of the things that we had to tweak and change this year is our Vermont retreat. Every fall we usually go to Vermont, and the space that we usually would go to, they told us, hey, you know, we can't offer that this year. But we were able to find an alternative location in Burlington, Vermont, even further north. And I just have to say, the excitement the students had for the Vermont retreat was exponential. So the ability to actually get students there was incredibly easy. Yeah, like we shot for a target of, we wanted, you know, something around 30 students to show up because we wanted to consolidate the momentum of our community, and we had 30-something students show up. And you know, logistically we ended up just taking 3 12-person vans there, and it was a well, I think driving up it was like a 6 or 7 hour road trip, but that's part of the strategy, is just like to give them quality time with each other. And I can't imagine this retreat going any better. I just thought it was incredibly peaceful. The space was amazing. What I love the most is what we do is we just give them extended time alone with God, out in nature, out with God. So we give them at least 2 hours a day in a book. And this year we went through the book of Ruth, which is one of my favorite books in the Hebrew Bible. You know, I love the dynamic of how God is sovereign over the everydayness that you experience in Ruth, and how Ruth is, or God is working through the foreigner. He's working through, you know, an everyday farmer. He's working through a mourning wife, you know, and so it's just been what the students got from their personal time as well as their group time as they discussed this was special. It was also a special time of our community opening up to each other in vulnerable and trusting ways, and ultimately saying, we know that this community is, you know, like, it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to fix all of the challenges and problems we have, but we can see each other and know each other and love each other and lean in and point each other to the gospel, point each other to shalom, to peace, to goodness. And so that was like a week, 2 weeks ago, and that has just had such momentum moving forward in terms of what the students want to do and what they want to engage with. And so that has been really excited. Right now what we're trying to do is 2 things really. Like, the staff is, honestly, we're pretty tired and exhausted. So this past week my 2 fellow staff members have been getting some an extended recharge retreat with God. Mine will come next week. When they come back in, I will kind of recharge myself and get some days alone with God to recharge, and really just to refocus and say, Lord, how are we faithful with this incredible launch we've had? What can we do to kind of really, with all the energy that our community has, how do we focus in on that to make sure that we continue to be faithful with this vision of disciple making, and also to help and spur our students on to really knowing and living out of the scriptures. And so amongst all of this, of course, I'll just give you a little personal update with myself and Rachel, is that we're moving. So today's Thursday, and so tomorrow we're moving. So this past week I have been packing up our apartment, an apartment that we've lived for 5 years. It's the longest place I've ever lived in my entire life. And so it is sad. I'm kind of mourning leaving Harlem, leaving this studio that you've seen in the background of my videos in the past, but I'm also super excited about this new chapter. And so we are moving into the Upper West Side, and super excited because I already know friends in that area that I can connect with. And then also, just another personal update is Rachel and I are once again running the New York City Marathon. And so we are running the marathon. We've been training I don't know if you heard my last story, but the last New York City Marathon we ran in 2019, I had broken my foot about 3 weeks before. I ran it anyway. It was an incredible experience, but luckily at this point of the training block where I had broken my foot is good. And so I'm just so excited. That's one of my favorite days of the city, when the city is rooting for each other, cheering each other on. And so yes, once the marathon is over, Rachel and I will be able to just walk over to our new apartment. So we're super excited about that. But oh my gosh, what a just having one of those things, right? Training for a marathon, or moving, or doing a launch or relaunch of our ministry, that would be more than enough. But yet we've been doing it all, and my goodness, God has been faithful. I am so excited about the discipleship that I'm seeing within the community. We're seeing students discipling other students, sharing tools that we've given them over the last couple of years, just organically. And so, my goodness, friends, can you please be praying for our community? Pray for the new men that we have. Pray, Lord, that they would be encouraging and keep inviting other guys to our community. Pray for the momentum that we have, that it's consolidated and focused on our mission of disciple making and bringing people up into maturity. And yeah, pray for this week, this time of recharge and refocusing on God, so that we can really be faithful for the rest of this semester. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the prayers. Appreciate all the birthday wishes I've gotten today. It's been actually overwhelming. And yes, I will see you guys in the next video. I'm super excited with what God's doing, but thank you. Talk to you later. Bye.